of the southern Bahamas will take a direct hit from this, and many of the buildings will literally disappear from some of those very low islands. The storm will get from a 3 to a 4 today. You said, well, what does that matter? We go from 120 to 135 miles per hour offshore of the U.S. What that means, Brooke, is that all of this wind will be pushing water onto the U.S. East Coast. The St. Johns River, all the way up and down the East Coast, may be flooded because of just the waves coming on shore. You have all of that force pushing all of that water that way. And then you have rip currents where the water going up to the dune and then ripping back out. You need to stay away from that water. You need to stay out of that water, even if you think you're an expert diver, swimmer, or whatever. Surfer for sure. You need to be out of that water. Here's the problem for the rest of the forecast. By the time we get to Sunday, the cone is from here to here, and then all the computer models in between. There's still a potential. There's still a possibility that New York City has a 100-mile-per-hour hurricane right at the mouth of the Hudson River. That's still a possibility. The same possibility that it is hitting Boston is right there, and somewhere in the middle is probably more likely. But you have to understand the population density right through here of an 85 or 100-mile-per-hour storm hitting the Northeast is probably more significant than the storm, although it will be bigger, hitting the Outer Banks of North Carolina. We're getting the people out of there. It's mandatory evacuation for those Outer Banks. There should not be anybody there. I hope there's not even a TV crew there, because we're not going to send one out there. It is simply too dangerous to be out there. The island could be cut in half. Yeah. No kidding. The sand may literally go away where these crews would be standing. So hopefully the authorities don't let anybody out there. Well,
a lot of uncertainty still, though, thus far as we look at the eastern seaboard of the U.S. What we do know, what Chad just mentioned, is that the Bahamas could see, sustained winds of 135 miles an hour. Irene already targeting the southern Bahamas. The deadliest potential threat could be the surrounding sea. All that water swept inland by the storm surge he mentioned could reach 11 feet. Jim Spellman is in Nassau, where people are taking advantage of the blue sky to get busy with these last-minute preparations.
Here in Nassau, the winds are beginning to pick up, and people are preparing for the arrival of Hurricane Irene, expected to pass close by as a Category 2 or 3 hurricane. Now, out in the bay right here, normally you would see a handful of cruise ships with thousands of people on them, and this beach here would be full of tourists. But the cruise ships have departed to get out of the way of the storm, the beaches are closed, and most of the tourists have flown out if they weren't on those cruise ships. Those that remain are hunkering down in large tourist hotels like this one. For Bahamians, there are few evacuation options. The island's only about 20 miles long, so outrunning the storm isn't an option. Their best bet, try to protect their property and hope for the best.
Basic shutters, and they strap down real quick. It takes a matter of 10 minutes to do a window, because we've done it so often. More often than not, we have to put them up for near misses, but this one looks like we're going to get it.
And hope that when Irene passes, their homes and businesses remain, and they and their families are safe and sound. Jim Spellman, CNN, Nassau, Bahamas.
Jim Spellman, thank you. We're talking about Hurricane